firstly, welcome. I also want to say I've got unbelievable coaches with me as well, first-class cricketers, um, a budding club cricketer that's desperate to play first-class cricket, Hammy. But you know, they've all of them have cricket in their blood, and they just soak up as much as you can from them as well. So you're in great hands. So firstly, I wanted to let's go on the first one, develop a strong batting setup versus seam and spin. There is a little bit of a difference. I think that's what I want to try and get across over these next 2 hours. It's absolutely normal to have a different setup for seam as it is to spin, because they are two different types of bowling. Okay, so they're slightly different, and I'm going to explain that in a bit more depth. But what I would add to that is our head position. Okay, making sure that our eyes are level and we're really well balanced. Okay, and the balance I will always talk about, and it's something you maybe will learn now. Balance is just not one word. For me, it's one word with two different compartments, and that is the distribution of your weight. Okay, so if you had a line straight down your body, and there's 50% on each side is where you perfectly balanced, I'll start to talk about your weight slightly being 60-40, 70-30. Very seldom will I talk about your weight being on your front foot, and most of this is on the point of delivery. Okay, so and I'm going to explain to you when we go on to seam bowling where I think the weight should be and why, and then the same with spin bowling as well. Okay, so your balance is obviously important with your weight distribution, and your head position is important because of your eyes. Okay, because everything is about your hands and your eyes. The magic is in your hands, and the eyes are what actually allow your hands to hit the ball. Okay, and if our eyes are nice and level, generally our balance will be better. If we're starting to get our eyes like this, that's what people say we're falling over. Okay, if you get your eyes nice and level, firstly you can see the ball better, you can pick the length better, and you won't fall over, which is one of the common things with batting. Okay, I mentioned it a little bit now, improving reading or picking of the length. But what do I mean by reading or picking the length? When do you pick length? Out the bowler's hand. So think about it. It's very, very important, because the best players in the world, everyone says that they pick length so early. So if you don't know how you pick length, surely you want to find out, because if you want to be the best player in the world, you need to know where to pick length. So it's when the ball's released. So if you think about it, if I release it early, the ball's going to be full. Okay? So you can already get cues from the bowler's hand, hence why we need to be watching that ball closely. If the ball gets released late, we already know from even before he's released the ball, if he's still holding on to the ball now, or she, there, we know it's going to be short. Okay, and the same thing with spin, you'll see the ball going up out of their hand, you know it's going to be full. If it comes flat out the hand, you know it's going to be short. So we get those cues really early. And spin and seam, as I said to you, is slightly different, because fast bowling, you don't have to move as much, you don't have as much time, so it's more shifting of the weight to the length, but very important that you're playing off both feet. So when it is full, our weight is shifted forward, and when it is back, we're actually playing off the back foot. And sometimes when the bowling isn't so fast, a lot of batsmen I see and lower level, they're just hitting every ball off the front foot. And it's fine to a certain level, but then suddenly when the bowling gets quick, you got into bad habits. Because when you see the ball short, you're still trying to go on the front foot. Okay, so we want to learn how to play off both feet as early as we can, so that when it is short, we're playing off the back foot. When it is full, our weight's shifting forward. With spin, we want to get as close to that ball as we can. Okay, when we get close to the ball won't spin. Then you're in control and you can hit the ball. So when you see the ball go up, it's either a really big stride to the ball, so you get close to it without moving your feet out of the crease, or you move your feet to get to the pitch of the ball. And then if you're getting to the pitch of the ball all the time, you won't get beaten by the spin, because you're squashing the spin. Yeah, and the same thing is if the ball pitches in the same place and you play the ball here, as opposed to playing the ball there, it gives you so much more room to then be able to hit the ball. So moving your feet is not just moving your feet forward. It's moving your feet forward when it's full, and really nice and deep in your crease when it's back. When it's back, so back of a length. And there you become very hard to bowl to, because you can bowl the same ball this much fuller the batsman's getting to the pitch of it, and that much shorter, and he's going on the back foot. Is if you're just playing from one area, you become easier to bowl to. Okay? With seam, it's more weight transfer, so there's not as much footwork. A little bit to the line of the ball, not the length. You can never get to the length of seam as if they're bowling a good length. In spin, you can get to the pitch of the ball. Seam, you don't get to the pitch of the ball. You move your feet to the line of the ball. You let the ball come into you, and then it's a transfer of your weight from this leg into the ball. That is what you want with seam, or back into this leg again to play with the back foot. Okay. And then the last thing is, out of all these things, if you can be repeatable with that technique. So with your spin, you know what your basic technique is, but you can repeat it over and over. Then allows you to transfer your technique into performance, which is what we all want. Yeah, but sometimes we're so worried about performance, but we haven't built all the blocks up to actually be able to perform. Okay, so these are the little things that hopefully out of the next 2 hours, we pick up 1 or 2 things that can maybe help you then build that repeatable technique, and you start to perform day in and day out, okay, rather than once in a while.